Chapter 2, Part E. हाँ रुपिंदर ते रमेश अद्धे बैठे होंदे आ ते ते रुपिंदर कहंदा यार मेरा सोहरा जेह्ड़ा ना मिलनर ते रमेश कहंदा भी की गल तू मिलनर बनाया उन्नू कहंदा आहो मैं बनाया ते कहंदा पैह्लों की सी कहंदा बिलियनर so the chapter 2, question number 20. So the code of ethics and standard of business practice is. So code of ethics basically means we are sitting before the mirror and nobody sees us, but we have to still do the right things. So it means set of professional rules which you have to follow. So similarly, realtors, they also have a code of ethics. They have to follow the code of ethics. Nobody see them, but they have to follow their conscience. And so the answer is number third. Set of professional rules of conduct which must be adopted as the minimum standard. And remember the minimum standard. In the exam, sometimes they will change to maximum standard by real estate board. So it's number 3. And then we go to the question number 22. The expenses incurred by real estate councils are covered. Who pays the expenses of real estate council? So the assessments on the realtors. So basically all those expenses, assessment on all licensees. So all the licensees pay the expenses. So it's number 3rd. And then we go to the question number 25. The code of ethics is enforced by board, local registered board. It's number 2. And then we go to question number 26. Which of the following information is not necessary for an agent to keep in his transaction record sheet? So when you make a deal, what you don't need in your transaction? It's a record sheet. The form of consideration for the real estate. So the form has no meaning here. So that's the answer. So the true consideration of the real estate transaction. So consideration means something of value. So whether the buyer is seriously buyer has a serious intention to buy the property. So that's true. Nature of the real estate transaction. So what kind of property he is buying, whether buying commercial, industrial, residential. 4th, the names and addresses of all parties to real estate transaction. So you need to have a name of a buyer, name of a seller. So basically 2, 3rd and 4 are true, and the number 1 form of consideration is false. 27. Restricted real estate agent license would probably be issued where? Normally, if you want to be a managing broker, you need to be licensed for at least 6 months. 6 months being a salesperson. After 6 months, you can do a course, but you can utilize that course after 2 years. But if in a small town, if the need is there, so they can make even a salesperson managing broker. The need for an agent exists in the area of the province and no one has the full qualification. So basically that's called restricted license. If there's a need in the area, so they can waive the qualification. So it's number 1. And then we go to the question number 30th. Kenneth, a licensed real estate agent, has been sued by purchaser who relied on the advice of salesperson implied by Kenneth. Evidence in the case indicated that Kenneth's salesperson was grossly incompetent and that Kenneth had failed to carry out his supervisory responsibility as an agent employer. The real estate council is instituting a formal disciplinary hearing to investigate the situation, and both Kenneth and the salesperson have received the notice of hearing. Kenneth doesn't think that the council can discipline him and is angry that he is being held responsible for his salesperson conduct. So Kenneth is the managing broker, and managing broker is responsible for the acts of his salespeople. If the salesperson do something wrong, and he is also liable, council can discipline both of them. Council can suspend both of their license. So the Kenneth can't say, I haven't done it, so you can't punish me. So the answer is Number one, the real estate council has the authority to subject Kenner to a disciplinary hearing for the action of a salesperson under the powers of granted to the council by the superintendent of real estate. That's true, but we are looking for false here. The salesperson cannot be disciplined jointly with Kenneth. That's false. The salesperson can be disciplined jointly with Kenneth. Third, one of the disciplinary action available to the council in this case is to suspend Kenneth's license. That's true. They can also suspend Kenneth's license. Number four, real estate council has no authority to discipline Kenneth. That's false. Real estate council has authority. So it's to discipline Kenneth. So that's false. So 2 and 4 are false, which is answer is C, but the answer 2 and 4 are false. And then we um, go to the question number 32. Under the section 2 of the Basic Real Estate Act, certain categories of persons are exempted from the licensing requirement contained in part 1 of the act. Which of the following is not exemption from section 2? So certain people are exempt. They don't need to do the real estate course to sell the properties. Number one, an executive with Hudson Bay Company selling neighbor's house. That's false. Executive Hudson Bay Company only can sell their own properties, not the neighbor's property. That's why it's false. Executor selling property as part of deceased estate. Deceased means somebody who died. So basically, court appoint an executor which dispose of the property of the deceased can do that. They don't need a license. That's true. A lawyer selling property in course of his practice. That's also true. A full-time salary employee of Million Company selling houses in 3,000 houses tract developed by Million. They can also do that. So that's also true. And that's it for this chapter.